the moments which were captured by some Chinese workers, the moment of Iranian missile strikes on targets in the UAE. This at a time when Iran continues to target the Gulf region, including Dubai and Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. And the visuals on your screens right now shows you the moments when the Iranian missile struck key buildings, even US Embassy in the UAE. And for more on this, my colleague Vishal Vivek is now joining me live. Vishal, of course, we can't be describing these visuals because it's completely glaring. The moments when Iranian missiles have hit UAE, countries like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. But talk to us more about the strategy of the United Arab Emirates moving forward, because yesterday we also saw some leaders of UAE walking in the mall. But what kind of an atmosphere will be there in UAE right now with such scary visuals being recorded?
Just to give some clarity about the visuals, this was shared by Meher News Agency, which is affiliated to the Iranian regime. They shared this yesterday. This has not been shared by other media across the globe. So this has exclusively been shared by the Iranian state media, and this shows that construction workers are working and they're shooting some of these horrifying visuals, these dizzying visuals. And just to give you some context, there are at least 4 lakh Chinese workers inside the UAE territory. So Chinese workers are quite heavily involved in construction of a lot of these skyscrapers. Construction workers also go from India, Bangladesh. Many Asian countries employ a lot of these construction workers. So they were positioned there. They shot this video. They were at this vantage point where they could see the damage. You see the visuals, smoke billowing out of the skyscraper that seems to be at least 100-meter tall. And these visuals clearly show what kind of a precarious situation these workers found themselves in, and this was such a scary situation to be in. What happened to the workers, that's not been given out in the press media, in the press TV release, the state media that released the video, but we have to just show the details and try to corroborate as much as possible.
Right, Vishal, we can see plumes of black smoke billowing from the skyscrapers, the tall buildings in Dubai, which is of course known for its tourism and a good lifestyle. But at this point of time, Vishal, Iran has not only struck US base in Dubai, but also the US consulate in Dubai. If you can tell us more about what kind of actions will the Gulf Council nations take, including countries like Dubai. We've heard Qatar, we've heard the GCC nations saying that we reserve the right to respond. At this point of time, there has been no retaliation by the Gulf nations, but these visuals with debris falling on some key buildings in the UAE, it's extremely concerning. And the million-dollar question being is that will the Gulf nations actually enter the war?
Well, that's a tall order right now for the Gulf nations, because their stockpiles are depleting as we speak, because round the clock they are trying to defend their skies. Almost all the top nations in the Gulf region, be it Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, UAE, Oman, they've all been hit by the Iranian missiles. And Iran continues to say that they're not trying to harm the civilians there. They're only trying to bombard the US bases in the region. But some of these missiles have been, hit in some residential blocks. Some of these places have hit business blocks. Dubai buildings have been hit. Shahid drones have been deployed. So Shahid drones are not really high-grade drones. They can randomly hit places. So that's what is happening. And as far as Gulf nations jumping into the war, that seems to be a tall order, as I mentioned, because they will find it really difficult to sustain the war, because even defending from Iran's ballistic missiles, that's becoming quite difficult, because these nations are mostly funded by the US regime. As far as the missile battery is concerned, the missile apparatus is concerned, it's mostly through the benefit of US that they have been able to do so. If US is not able to help them in the time of need, they will find it really difficult to take on a powerful adversary like Iran, because Iran might be down, but it's still not out.
Right, absolutely. But especially when we compare the military capabilities of the Gulf Council nations and Iran, of course, has an upper hand. But to all the viewers tuning into NDTV, that's the visuals, moments of an Iranian missile strike in the UAE.